Good afternoon, everyone. We are all set for what is going to be a very important fixture in the Indian Women's League. A clash of extreme proportions, one might say, or rather, extremely contrasting proportions in what's a chilly afternoon in the Kalyani Stadium. At one end, we have the table toppers, East Bengal, all set to extend that winning streak of theirs. And at the other end, we've got Kickstart Football Club, currently in the seventh position, and they will be hoping to find their rhythm. They have won their first game in the last match that they played against Shribhumi Football Club. A humdinger turnaround of affairs completely flipped the tide in a span of 5 minutes. But then today, it's a different ball game altogether. It's the Moshal girls, it's East Bengal at the end of the day. And the kind of firepower that they bring to the table, it's incredibly overwhelming. But then once again, the confidence from a win, it's kind of positive and contagious. Right then, the starting 11 for Kickstart Football Club: Linthoi Gambi under the sticks. One Kem Linthoi Gambi in the defense: Rafiat, Aweda, MMSEN, Babysana Devi, Ranjana Chanu, Kiran Pista, Arun Abag, their skipper, Kiran Bala Chanu, Labit Ede, and Leshram Bibicha Devi. On the bench, they've got Nimita Gurum, Romina Begum, Sunita Munda, and of course Banti Sharma, Haripriya Deka. They are playing under the chaperonage of Chaoba Devi. The formation, a pretty conventional one, 4-4-2 is what they have opted for. And they know it very well that if they have to stop the mighty East Bengal, they'll need all hands on deck. But that being said, on your frame, these are glimpses from East Bengal's practice sessions. Pantoi Chanu, of course, she is one of the best that India has right now and was instrumental in East Bengal's title-winning campaign last year. But apart from that, they have got a phenomenal squad at their behest. Despite Archimpong leaving East Bengal, they have got the iconic Fazila Ekpaput in their squad. That's how they line up today. Pantoi Chanu under the sticks, Sweetie Devi, Ashtamarao, Sarita Yumnam, their captain, Fazila, Shushmita Lepcha, Resti Nanziri, Sati Debnath, Shilki Devi, Anoma Opoku, and Sulanjana Raul. On the bench, they've got Soumya, Sangita, Naurim Priyanka Devi, Kartika Angamuthu, Handamoni Baski, Shrabani Murmu, Anastasia Orao, Vandana Roy, and Bully Sarkar. And they are being spearheaded by Anthony Sampson Andrews. With all of that being said, they will be lining up in an attacking, aggressive 3-4-3 formation. Right, it's East Bengal game and it's live from the Kalyani Stadium. So, of course, it goes without saying, when East Bengal's in action, their fans will definitely turn up in numbers. East Bengal looking forward to defend their title. The defending champions in the last season went on to win 12 games from the 14 that they played and could very well have earned the tag of the Invincibles. Unfortunately, that was not the case. They were beaten by Gokulam Kerala, who eventually finished second last year, and the player who led the charge for the Malabarians is now in the echelons of East Bengal, Fazila Ekpaput. And obviously on the bench we can see a couple of big names there, Soumya Gogolot, and just next to her is Kartika Angamuthu. Last year, Kartika Angamuthu and Sandhya Ranganathan, they were the engine, these two coming together, they were the engine of the East Bengal midfield. This year, however, Sandhya Ranganathan is not a part of the East Bengal squad, and this man on your frame, Anthony Sampson Andrews, what a magician, what a master tactician, what a brilliant game reader, and most importantly, someone who's not afraid of taking chances, who's not afraid of taking risks. At the other end though, Chaoba Devi, make no mistake, well, the start might have been shaky for her, but then she's got the talent, she's got the caliber, and she's got what it takes to turn things on its head. And that's exactly why she's spearheading the Kickstart Football Club. Well, right now, if we take a look at the points table, East Bengal running right at the top. 4 matches, 4 wins, 12 points. But the most staggering and the most impressive factor about them is that they have racked up 17 goals. And just on cue, the teams marching out to the centre, spearheaded by the officials, who knows very well that they'll have a tough ask at their behest. Sen Hangma Subba, the referee, will be taking care of proceedings, will be arbitrating it all, but she's got some big names in her entourage as well. She's got Ranjita Devi, who's the fourth official. We'll confirm all of that definitely in a visual as well. But this is the opening note. This is just the overture of a mind-boggling exchange that's to come your way. Kalyani Stadium once again being brushed by the very soft glow of the sun on what's an extremely chilly day today. The temperature reading close to 9 at times, which makes it very tough for the players as well, because again, trying to adjust to the surroundings, it needs some time. The pre-match rituals, the quick handshakes, the high fives before the full-blown rivalry takes center stage. The two captains will be stepping up in the center, but before that we have the customary pre-match photo ops, and that's the confirmation of the officials. Sen Hangma Subba, our referee for the day, Lalruaizeli Kyangte and Pinky Pandey, the assistant referees, and Ranjita Devi Tekcham, another experienced name in Indian women's circuit. She will be taking care of the fourth official responsibilities, and that's Kickstart Football Club hoping to get a second win here, hoping to get back-to-back wins, hoping to precipitate an unthinkable upset. At one end, we've got the captain of Kickstart, a phenomenal name from Bengal itself, and that's Aruna Bagh. And at the other end, we have got the captain of East Bengal, Sarita Yumnam, another seasoned campaigner. A few quick smiles before we see these warriors rock up Kalyani with a phenomenal brand of football. That's indeed an incredible frame. Who doesn't like smiles at the end of the day? No matter what the rivalry is, before the game, it's all smiles, it's all happiness. And then what follows suit in the upcoming 90 minutes can be game-changing. It has to be game-changing, in fact. A few quick words being discussed out here between the officials, of course, and also between the teams. The fans, despite the fact that they haven't really turned up in numbers, well, at the end of the day, you have to understand it's a Tuesday afternoon, so more of a weekday. So getting time to turn up to the stands, it is not really easy. But at the end of the day, we can still see fans making their way to the center, which is absolutely incredible. Because when your favorite team plays, you try and be present in person. You try and cheer them. And you try and roar with them. That's what home advantage is all about. Shaking the records of the decibel levels. Last year, when East Bengal lifted the championship, it was a spectacle to savor. We're all set now. It's a matter of seconds. And with a long whistle from Hangma Sen Subba, we get rolling here at the Kalyani Stadium. And a foul early on. The clock hasn't come on the screen. And before that, East Bengal drawing one. 14 seconds. Well, top names in both the sides, to be honest. East Bengal making a few changes, getting in a handful of crucial renovations this season. Obviously, the departure of Maureen Achieng and El Shaddai Achiumpong kind of forced them to get a couple of new faces into the squad. And who was the one who came on? The leading goal scorer for the last two seasons, Fazila Equaput, Fazila Equaput has been in dream nick. 24 goals last year for Gokulam Kerala, the leading goal scorer, and last year, like the year prior to that, she was also the leading goal scorer with 13 goals for Gokulam Kerala, and now she's all set to light things up in the East Bengal Reds, and she's doing an incredible job here as well. 6 goals already, leading goal scorer of the ongoing IWL, maintaining the trend, maintaining the momentum, and doing justice to that reputation that she has. The fans already breaking into a nice musical tone of claps hither and yon. Just getting the much needed incentive for their favorite team. Just getting them rolling already, because these are early minutes, so you will want them in full flow. You will want them in full stride. Well, on your screen, it's Rafiat Aweda. Played an incredible game last day and was kind of significant altogether for Kickstart Football Club and getting them the much needed win against a powerhouse like Shribhumi. The shouts and the claps and the roars getting louder than ever. The fans enjoying themselves. A bit of early movement there from Kickstart Football Club. And the ball going all the way to Elangbam Pantoi Chanu. No real challenge for her. Easy pickings. A quick roll as well. For now, it's all about just getting the fundamentals in place. East Bengal, a pretty high-scoring team, and definitely the kind of form that they are in. We just talked about it at the start. 17 goals from 4 matches. Started off attack to sedate, and through the centre, wanted to come up with a defence splitter altogether. Sulanjana Raul, she was almost nearby, but not exactly where she should have been. But nonetheless, early movements from both the sides kind of tells you that this shouldn't be one of those AG encounters. He will have life. Resty does well to win the ball. The idea was to lay it off into the stride of Fazila. Resty dropping deep at times. They've also got Vena Poko, Sulanjana with a slightly emasculated touch there. Cleared away by Aruna Bagh. Don't want to take any risk at all. Knows very well that Fazila Ekot, she gets hold of the ball out in the centre. What can follow suit is chaos of the highest order, and you wouldn't want to concede against an all-firing East Bengal, because 17 goals in 4 matches, coming off 2 monumental wins, 9-0 against Sessa Football Academy and 5-0 against Nita Football Academy. Nita Football Academy, until that point in time, they were calling the shots emphatically. Ball's in the box. It needs to hurry, and they do so. Gets it out of the danger lines without any trouble at all. Decent clearance, to be honest. Now in the last game, of course, was taken up early on. Loveth Ede and MMSC, and these two will be playing an instrumental role. A bit of change, to be honest. In the last game, they deployed MMSCN, apologies, in a slightly wider spot. But today she's kind of running straight through the center. And yes, despite not being out in absolutely overwhelming numbers, the handful of fans that East Bengal can see turning up, they are already shooting the decibel levels high. That's an early concession. But a wonderful backup there from Abena Opoku. I wanted to be very, very clear about one thing, that they didn't get a second bite of the cherry. They took a bit longer than expected with that movement of theirs. And as we say in football, a split second too late can prove to be an eternity too late. Kiran Pista gets the throw wrong. Sulanjana Raul dropping deep against Labatede. And eventually, it is Ede who wins it. Kickstart trying to keep East Bengal under the pump. They know it very well. The moment East Bengal gets that opening goal, from there on, it'll be kind of challenging to try and stall them. So you'll have to try and keep them bottled until the very last moment. You can't give them a goal. And that's exactly what will start frustrating them. And once frustrated, then you will see East Bengal moving in cursory, hoping to do things out of the box, thereby making your life slightly easier. There comes the free kick, not the best of headers, chested down, but the consequent shot has been taken care of. Mebam Lintoi Gambi was possibly circling around, hoping to get hold of the ball there. Quick movement, but then Arunabad once again standing tall and leaping to perfection, just getting the ball out of harm's way. Here comes the corner towards the second post, comfortably collected by Lintoi Gambi. She knocks it forward. Rafiat. Rafiat doesn't get the pass right. Fazila. Apologies, Resti it was. And Resti trying to find Fazila along the way. Fazila with a bit of a body push, but eventually wins a corner. That's the kind of urgency, that's the kind of speed that you will expect from someone like Fazila. Always on the move, always on her toes, always making the defender sweat. Here's a corner. And a chance for East Bengal. A set piece is always dangerous. Shushmita Lepcha takes it quickly. But Sulanjana Raul fails to capitalize. Rafiat dropping deep there. Possession stays alive, lingering around. It looks like it'll be a throw-in finally. And throw-in for East Bengal, Shushmita Lepcha. With the throw. She's got options. Tilki Devi. Tilki does well. Gets it back to Shushmita. Shushmita with the cross. And just in time out there with a quick interception. One back rightly by Sweetie Devi now. Shati Devnath now switching to a bit of a central role here. That's the point of playing a 3-4-3 defense. You don't really have a winger. You have 3 centre backs in position. And you can't just confine yourself. You can't just scoop yourself up to a particular position. This time a bit of a hefty push on the far right and right in front of the assistant referee's eyes, who's made no hesitation at all in getting the flag up just in time, awarding a free kick to Kickstart Football Club. As time rolls by, the drums are getting louder. It's a good forward ball, kept in play by Mebam Lintoi Gambi. Fazila was close by, wanted to have a bit of a chase there, more like a formality to be honest. The ball bobbling awkwardly enough. East Bengal has got some work to do here. Sweetie Devi takes care of it, drops it to Abena. Abena knocks it forward. In the extreme far right, is there another attack loading? That's a lovely ball. But then Again, a bit too acute to be honest. Very difficult to try and push the ball back in. Here comes the cross. And once again repelled away. Not for long though. An attempt from distance. Shushmita Lepcha trying her luck. But once again, the particular line of sight that she had, it wouldn't have been easy to try and steer the ball goal bound. Flies out of the park. And once again, timely clearance there from Ebena. She knows well that Rafiat Aweda, she's a walking threat and can lead to some serious repercussions if you are allowing her space in that final third. Rafiat, but won back nicely by Ebena, and Ebena keeps on driving forward. Fazila finds Resti. Resti trying to knock it forward. Still stays with East Bengal. The drums keep on pacing. And so does East Bengal, and this time losing a shape. Quickly riveting the referee's attention and winning a free kick as well. And this is how quickly things can change, because East Bengal has got quite a few nimble-footed players who move very fast, thereby creating that additional layer of pressure upon their counterparts. There's another free kick. Doesn't really go in East Bengal's favor, to be honest. Not the most promising free kicks. The gentle chip forward. Sulanjana Raul trying to slide the ball past an advancing Mehbam Linthoi Gambi. Unfortunately, the referee already had the whistle blown, so that run from Sulanjana reduced to nothing. Silky Devi with that delicate chip, to be honest. The idea wasn't bad. The execution, however, needed a bit more of a polish, needed a bit more of a shine. Again, rattles it forward. Shushmita pushes it back to Pantoi. Pantoi slightly late in clearing that one, but eventually Bena makes good ground. And Sulanjana trying to be cheeky, gets stuck. Kiran Pista, a senior player, so obviously knows a trick or two. But that's a lovely square ball. MMSAN almost fighting away with a couple of defenders. Fails to break through. Possession back with East Bengal. And they will regulate that watchfully. Kickstart enjoying a pretty decent spell of possession, to be honest. Sulanjana now down the middle. A lovely ball forward. A chance here for Fazila. And Fazila gets the first goal. Cheeky. Improvising to perfection. And that's a number 7 of the tournament. It was all about placement. And she's made no mistake at all. A goal born from the boots of brilliance. Incredible chemistry between Sulanjana and Fazila. And Sulanjana with a picture-perfect pass. Fazila timing that run to perfection. Aruna Bagh had no clue whom she was up against. Foxy, quick. And using that outside of the boot to place the ball at the second post, leaving Kickstart Football Club stranded in a heap of despair. Just the start, just the overture that East Bengal would have wanted. 15 minutes in, and they have their first goal of the game. And it comes from none other than their leading goal scorer, Fazila Ekwaput. She continues scoring. She simply cannot stop scoring. One of the most eminent strikers to have arrived in India. That was another move in the making. And by the time Kiran Pista could navigate the treacherous cross currents of the opposition defense. Flag had already went up and she'll have to come back empty-handed. That's a decent ball there from Lovett. Rafiat actually does well to keep the ball in play, but no one from Kickstart Football Club nearby to try and pounce upon that. Goes out for a throw in. Lovett drops it back. Another cross. Pantoi had a bit of a challenge in the first go and looks like the referee's blown the whistle. I think that was because of the push which was involved. We'll take a look at what really happened. A bit of commotion out there. MMSAN just leaping up, trying to get hold of the ball. And a bit of a push out there while she was trying to leap up, and that kind of infuriated Pantoichano, and Pantoichano with an elbow. But nonetheless, walks scot-free from that particular juncture. Could have been troublesome, to be honest. Shushmita didn't really get too many starts in the last season, but then in the second half of the tournament, she was a regular and she played an excellent entry of the game, something that kept the left flank of East Bengal always protected, always secured. Rafiat turning around again. Kickstart knows very well, just because you have conceded doesn't mean it's end of the road for you. And more of a half-baked attempt from Kiran Pista, going for goal all by herself from distance, imparting way too much elevation on the ball. Had the trajectory been right, had the trajectory been slightly flatter, it could have been a stern test for Pantoichano. Now through the center. Another fine ball, a chance for Rafiat. A bit too late there. Had to rush, needed some quick speed there. Pantoichano, an equally quicker goalkeeper. It was a wonderful ball from Babita Devi. Almost arranged it on a silver platter. For someone like Rafiat Oweda, she needed to gun in at brute force. Things could have been different, but so far, not to be. It's 1-0 still. The only goal coming from Fazila Ekwaput. Sulanjana, Resti. Silky through the center. Sulanjana again. Sulanjana, a bit of a heavy first touch. Losing the ball. Quick switch to the right. No one from Kickstart around. The Poku has had a pretty decent start to the game so far, 19 minutes in. Kiran Pista with another long ball. A bit of a back header. Pantoi still chasing that and eventually realizes she was never going to get hold of that. Had to come up with a quick clearance. A very quick thinker out there, Pantoichano. And that's one of the reasons why she's regarded so highly in Indian women's football. Rafiat. Again, Rafiat with a bit of a mispass, but Lovett gets hold of it. However, the cross that came in from Lovett, not much promise. Kiran with a very flat cross in the box. Straight into the stride of Opoku. Sarita Yumnam out there towards the far right. Going to be another throw in, captaining the side for the day. Another experienced name, to be honest. The game is going on slightly scrappy now. Nicely done there by Fazila, trying to go for a bicycle kick, but not really sure whom she was planning to play the ball to. That question remained dangling in the wind in front of us all. Anthony Samson Andrews will be a man delighted. Last year, steered the East Bengal women's team to a mind-boggling IWL title-winning season. The way East Bengal played, as we said before, almost invincibles. Just that one defeat from the 14 games. A marathon tournament like this, and you're only losing one, just tells you how good you are, just tells you what is the quality that you bring to the center. Another throw in for East Bengal right now. The game is kind of going on a bit of a slow pace, to be honest, because both the sides still not unfurling themselves at the mighty breakneck speed that they are usually known for. They are happy to sit back. They are happy to defend. East Bengal, especially when you have a goal in your bank, you can take a breath and slow things down in terms of the tempo, and then keep on knocking on the doors when and wherever the chance comes your way. Shushmita Lepcha with the throw-in. Shushmita darts it forward. Silky. But Silky fails to do justice. Kiran Pista. Another shot from distance. Chaos in the box. Mehbam drops the ball. With the referee blowing the whistle, coming to the deliverance of Kickstart Football Club. Vizela was there, and she had the support of Ashtam Rao as well. We'll take a look. A lovely ball from Sati Devnath. Bit of an awkward bounce. And truth be told, Lingtoi actually couldn't capitalize on the ball. It wobbled out of her hands. The fans out here enjoying every bit of this game. Every sinew in their body, every atom in their body is screaming East Bengal. And who doesn't want to watch their favorite team play? We'll take a look at the goal that happened. A wonderful layoff there. She threaded the ball through the two defenders as if she's threading it through the eye of a needle. Sensational. And then Fazila Equiput. It was just so easy. Effortless brilliance. Knew that she couldn't go for power. Knew she had to place the ball to perfection, and that's exactly what she's done. And the result, right in front of you, East Bengal up by a goal to nil. Shushmita will have to find an option shortly enough. Eventually does well, and decent help as well coming from Ashtam Rao. Silky Devi out in the center, quickly switching the ball. Now a fine forward lunge. And again, lack of communication between Aruna Bagh and Mehbam Lingtoi Gambi. Both of them went for the ball. Eventually it was Aruna Bagh with the clearance. Ideally in situations like these, I think someone has to take the call. Someone will have to stop. Both of them going for the ball, and if both of them misses, what they'll be staring at is a leaky barrel. And not just a leaky barrel. Another lovely ball. Fazila almost twirling her way out of the defensive melee there. Possession stays alive for East Bengal. Resti trying to line one up. Knocked it forward. But Fazila failing to capitalize upon that, but now dropping deep enough and will be a throw in for East Bengal. Again, another fine layup there. Resti Nanziri, she was just trying to take position, get stuck with possession taken away from her, and that's for the second time now that she's lost possession. Rafia hoping to accelerate, but then a pretty strong contender in Ebena Opoku standing right in front of her does well to eventually push the ball all the way back to Pantoichanu. Now that could have been a cheap concession, but decent recovery there from the East Bengal defense. Miss passes in the final third, it's not really impressive enough. Just that one of those rare areas which East Bengal will need some work upon. We've seen quite a few miss passes from them in the season, but again, nothing to regret about the number of goals that they have scored. 17 goals in 4 matches. It just tells you that how good they are and how incredible of a team they are. Anthony Andrews constantly having a chat with his teammates. Knows very well how crucial this game is. And at the other end, Shauba Devi. Knows it that the longer they have to wait to score that equalizer, the farther this game will go away from them. Because this is a different team. This is not Shrivomi. This is the defending champions, East Bengal. And they have got some eminent shooters in their side. We've got 2 big names on the bench, as said before. One of them, of course, Soumya Gogolot. And at the other end, like with Soumya, they've got Kartika Angamutu as well. So these 2, they might come later on if needed, of course. Another bit of challenge. And a corner here for Kickstart Football Club. Rafia Taweda just setting it up. Doesn't want to waste any time. She knows that they'll have to score an equalizer in the first half itself. Ranjana Chanu. Not the most promising corner, to be honest, and the ball tiptoeing its way. Gets sparked out of the ground. One of the key banes of East Bengal so far has been and was always known that was going to be Rafia Taweda. The way she takes the workload, the way she switches, and more importantly, almost covering every inch of the ground. That's what makes the difference. A bit of an injury concern there for the captain of East Bengal today. Sarita Yumnam receiving some treatment and she's okay. The roars of East Bengal going on, blaring out louder than ever on the stands. East Bengal now coming forth in spades. Fazila actually does well. Oh, with the cross there, Fazila, chance again. But this time Maibam Lintoi Gambi keeping an eye on the ball and eventually capturing that with a picture perfect leap. Fazila trying to find a way through to Ashtama Rao, who is now switched to the left flank. All the way to Pantoichanu. now through the center. Opoku releases it to Sarita Yumnam. Sarita with a $1 million delivery to Fazila. Fazila serenaded by almost 7 to 8 players of Kickstart Football Club. Not really easy. A bit of a tumble, but possession stays alive with East Bengal. Sulanjana Raul again slightly stranded there. The gap between her and Fazila was a bit too much. Kickstart Football Club not taking any risk at all. Getting the ball out of harm's way as soon as possible. At the expense of a throw-in, of course. And that's another Lingtoy for you. We've got 2 Lingtoys in the mix. The one is Wangkem Lingtoy Gambi, another one Maibam Lingtoy Gambi. Maibam is under the sticks and Wangkem in the defense. The referee blowing the whistle. Looks like the injury problem which she thought is going to be okay. It isn't looking okay. It's looking agonizing. And we might have to stop play. We might have to halt play for a while. But Silky Devi, she's back on her feet. She's absolutely fine. Try and show you what really happened. Love it, Ere. Going for the ball and almost ended up spearing out Silky Devi. Or one might say Silky Devi almost went into the spearing stride of Love it, Ere. It was unintentional, completely unintentional, but then that's what football is. Once again, things getting slightly hasty out in the center, and the first yellow card being shown. Silky Devi, the offender, and Fazila quickly coming in between Silky and the referee, urging her. There's no need to get into an argument, get into an intransigence with the referee. It's not that you'll get anything out of it. We'll take a look there. That could have been nasty, actually. Silky Devi almost coming up with a hand around Love It Ede. Free kick for Kickstart Football Club. Ranjana goes deep into the box. Clear away by Silky Devi herself. And the resultant, the consequent long ranger from Aruna Bagh was shot for stars. She can come up with those goals from distance. She's got this incredible affinity of hammering those long rangers, and most of the times they're usually on target. A bit of a long chase there. Does well. Ashtam Rao gets it to Opoku. Resty dropping deep. Resty trying to lay off Sulanjana Raul onto the far right. But the distance was more than she could have anticipated. Kickstart now. This might be a decent opportunity. Some space in the making. But eventually the resultant shot that came in, it was trickled. And it goes out for a goal kick. Shushmita. Opoku. Resti Nanziri lifting her boots out there, but didn't really get hold of the ball. Rafiat release it to the far right. Kiran Balachanu She's got resistance ahead of her. Still with Kiran Bala. Kiran Pista. Kiran Pista getting past Samaka. Confusion. Both Kickstart players almost ramming into each other. And yes, Fazila dropping deep. Might be the start of another phenomenal counter-attack from East Bengal. Sulanjana Raul on the right. Sulanjana lays it off for a partner. Still with East Bengal. But eventually the clearance coming up. Throw in favor of East Bengal. A quick burst of brilliance altogether from Kickstart Football Club. But it was not going to last for long. Arun Abag out in the centre so far has led her defence pretty ferociously, to be honest. Pantoi Chanu, back to her. Pantoi Chanu, obviously, she's someone to watch out for, and for all the right reasons. She's played her first international game, played for India, under 13 of course, in 2008, and since then she's only been on a curve of ascendancy. There's been no looking back for her in 2022. She was one of the two Indian footballers alongside Bala Devi to have given a trial for Spanish outfit Malaga. Again, a pretty rudderless delivery. Whom was it intended for? No one knows except for Ashtama Rao. Nice bit of interception, only for East Bengal to lose it again. Rafiat, good twirl there. Forward ball. I think the aerial balls hasn't exactly found their target so far from Kickstart Football Club. That's a lovely long ball. Sulanjana Raul from the right. Still Sulanjana. Lays it, and an attempt at the near post. And Mebam Linto Igambi not willing to tryst with risks. Fazila Ekbaput really causing all sorts of problems. But once again, Sulanjana Raul. She was waiting in anticipation and then eventually knocked it into the cantering strides of Fazila. There's another corner floated by Sarita Yumnam, and that goes out of the park. Five minutes of regulation time remaining in the first half as things stand. We still haven't seen the first goal of the tournament. First goal of the match from Kickstart Football Club. East Bengal, however, are in total control so far. They've scored the opening goal, a fine finish from Fazila Ekbaput. A wonderful chemistry with Sulanjana Rao through the centre. The Kickstart Football Club scored 2 goals in a span of 5 minutes in the last game. Today, however, they are chasing the windmills. They're chasing those shadows. Shushmita Lepcha has been growing since the last couple of years in terms of Indian women's footballing circuit. Has done well recently, and for East Bengal she's shown a lot of heart and spirit. Eventually come up as the regular in the side. That was an attempt to go all ninja there from Lovett, in fact from MMSAN. Then despite 3 attempts, she couldn't make the most of it. And now Fazila through the centre. Switches the ball to the far right. Silky. Couple of quick knocks there. Here's another long ball in the box. Can be a chance. And Ashram Rao slightly lackadaisical there. Couldn't just turn the ball goal bound. Fazila with the delivery. Resty was in the box. The idea most likely was to find Resty, but she was more or less stranded in an island. Could just see the ball fly by. Here's a fine ball. Rafiat almost getting hold of that, but not to be. Now with Rafiat, lays it off for Kiran Balachanu. Kiran Balachanu pulling the trigger and wasn't exactly in a very comfortable position from where she could have steered the ball into the back of the net or went for a pretty regular straight shot. Pantoichanu had to move by inches, but again, not really something that will take away the sleep of Pantoichanu. She's used to saving a lot more. Make no mistake, the experience that she brings to the mix. The first Indian player to play professional football in Australia, Pantoichanu. She's even had a training session at Adelaide United, courtesy of Paul Morris, who saw her while she was plying her trade in Australia. And she was also a part of the Indian women's team that qualified for the upcoming Asia Cup. It was history in the making, of course, for the Indian women. Both the teams will have to come up with something solid, something more positive and categorical. For now, after the goal, East Bengal, despite coming up with a handful of chances, they're still stuck out there. A team that's got 17 goals, you can expect more. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see in the second half if we do see Soumya Gogoloth in action, if we do witness Karthik Angamuttu coming in as well, because these two players, they can completely change things on the level of a paradigm scale altogether. So that's how deadly these two players are, especially Soumya Gogoloth, who's also on the list of top goal scorers of the tournament with 5 goals so far. Another cross in the box, could have been trouble. Unfortunately, Sulanjana Rahul gets it wrong. What a phenomenal delivery it was from Shushmita Lepcha. Unfortunately, the shot that Sulanjana wanted to take, it ended up hammering a hand along the way, thereby compelling the referee to blow the whistle. And now, this can be a chance. A long run for MMSA and goes for the second post. And just drags it wide by millimeters. That was a fine move in the making. MMSAN against Opoku. She took it away from Opoku and then went for the shot. Had it been in the frame of the sticks, this could have been a different story altogether. 4 minutes of additional time in the first half. East Bengal will need to be slightly more careful in terms of playing those short passes amongst them in their own defense of theirs, or else it might lead to a lot of catastrophe. Because Kickstart Football Club, they've got players who can make the difference. Sulanjana, the trio of Sulanjana, Resty and Fazila has indeed turned out into a trio of terror. Resty Nanziri pulling the strings from the center. Sulanjana and Fazila forming the two other prongs, the triptych altogether. Another cross floated towards Fazila, but it doesn't really reach her. Few tussles. Referee says play on. This can be another move in the making. Wonderful setup. Restin Anziri does well to get the ball in position. And Restin Anziri hammers home the second goal, urging the fans to roar. East Bengal 2 goals to good just at the edge of the first half. Incredible display of teamwork. Felt like everybody knew what their assignment was. Fazila with a fine layoff, and despite getting a boot to that, it wasn't enough to keep the ball out of Resti Nanziri's strides. Resti with a cheeky tweak left Kiran Pista simply watching a shower of brilliance. Fine finish, emphatic finish from Resti Nanziri. She was a phenomenal touch in last year's IWL as well, spearheading the East Bengal charge in their midfield, and this year once again starting to look extremely dangerous. And that's the third goal for Resti Nanziri in the tournament. East Bengal, the way they are scoring for fun, the way they are scoring for sport, it won't be surprising if all IWL records until now are being shattered this year in terms of goal scoring, in terms of points claimed. It could have happened last year as well. We're in the last minute of the first half. 4 minutes additional time was given. SEN. There's a bit of a square ball. Trying to lunge it into the box, and MMSEN was accelerating with all her might, but then Panto Ichanu, a decent sweeper keeper as well if needed, coming out of the line without breaking a sweat and eventually collecting the ball. And now East Bengal, Silky Devi. Another knock forward. Fazila almost getting hold of it. Could very well have been 3-0. And Hangma Sensoba blows a whistle, indicating that that is the end of the first half. A fine half of football for East Bengal as they head into the tunnel with a 2-0 cushion. Goals from Fazila Ikbaput and Resti Nanziri has got their wheels in motion. At the other end, Kickstart Football Club, they will have to find their rhythm going into the second half. We'll take a quick look at the first half highlights. The way in which the game oscillated from one end to the other. Last minute huddles. And quick words being said before we got rolling in the Kalyani Stadium. And right from the word go, East Bengal had their intent loud and clear. That was the opening goal, picture perfect layoff. And Fazila Ekbaput making no mistake. Sulanjana Raul with the assist. Fazila speeding past a flurry of markers and placing that to perfection. And Sulanjana as well. The weight on the ball, the precision, that was just too good to watch, geometrically perfect. And at the other end, things kept on happening at speed. That was a lovely opening for Kickstart Football Club. Another one of those consequential crosses coming in from Fazila. And Sulanjana with a cheeky touch. The fine shot being thwarted altogether. This was another one of those decent moves in the making. Kiran Balachanu just couldn't get it right. Sulanjana Raul came interestingly close enough, but then ended up handling the ball. And after all of that, a fine team goal put into the net from, or rather by Resti Nanziri, enhancing the cushion to 2-0 at the end of the first half. Once again, the first half scoreline, East Bengal 2, Kickstart Football Club 0. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be back shortly with the second half.
তোমাদের বড় না?
Hello everyone, we are back for the second half of the contest, and as things stand, it's 1-0 in East Bengal's favour. Apologies, 2-0 in East Bengal's favour, sincere apologies for that. A goal apiece from Fazil Aikwaput and Resti Nanziri has propelled the defending champions into the 2-0 cushion, and they will be hoping to put up a show in the second half as well. They'll be hoping to get more goals altogether. But at the other end, Kickstart Football Club, they know that it's not the easiest of outings that they are about to have. It will be tough, and it will need a lot of heart, to be honest. Players down, but then referee wanted to see how serious was the injury, and finally blowing the whistle. Aruna Bagh, she's gone down in absolute agony, and the official stepping out in the center just to check she's okay. Looks like there was a bit of a collision. She cocked a blow. I will try and show you how it happened. But Aruna Bagh, she is one of the finest of defenders that Kickstart Football Club has got. So obviously goes without saying that her presence in the defense remains. Well, she's okay. She'll just take a bit of a breather along the way. Tuesday afternoon, it's being said that it's the coldest day of this winter in Kolkata and around as well, so almost close to 9 or 10. And one can feel the chills. Also looks like a change is loading up for Kickstart Football Club. But for now, East Bengal with another one of those opportunities. Headed away. Another cross, but straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Well, one change has already happened, and that's Kiranbala Chanu has been taken off. And Sunita Munda has made her way into the centre in place of Kiranbala Chanu. Throw in for East Bengal, Shushmita Lepcha, another regular from the last year for East Bengal. Did well for Bengal in the Rajmata Jijabai Trophy last year. And since then, East Bengal had their eyes on her. She's looked good. Goes on those overlaps, pretty fine enough. Kiran Pesta today hasn't really had a great game. In fact, in case of the second goal, was only chasing shadows. Shushmita does well to control the ball and quickly turn it around. But now Rafiata Weda could have come up with a better pass, could have come up with a more resounding pass. Ended up getting a bit of a bump along the way. Lanjana Rao, she's looked in great nick so far. Extremely fast, extremely quick, and more importantly, that urgency that she has, that is important. Sulanjana does well to win the ball again. Launches one forward. Goalkeeper stayed where she was. Ashtama Rao, gentle trip. And misses out the mark by whiskers there. And I think a quick word of apology. Fazila was just following suit. Ranjana Chanu, nowhere close by. Could have just waited, could have just latched onto the ball and played it straight to Fazila, who's already eyeing for that second goal time and time again, knocking on the doors. Rafiat does actually well enough to get past the marker. Sarita Yumnam. Ranjana steps up, comes up with a crossfield ball towards the far side. A decent layoff. Sulanjana again. Sulanjana, an insane workhorse. Still with Sulanjana, had to release the ball. Resti was nearby. And that's the overpowered. Easy pickings there for Sweetie Devi. Pantoi put under the pump, but Sweetie recovering well enough. However, the ball crossed the line, so will be a throw in there in favor of Kickstart Football Club. Ranjana Chanu coming all the way from the defense with the throw. Goes without saying that she will try and make the most of it. Love it. Ranjana with the cross. Again, a bit of confusion there. Love it. Ede possibly telling her teammate, you had to let go. Give me that space to try and fire. But once again, lack of communication. That is always a tough one. Someone has to take calls, and I think we've said this before for Kickstart Football Club. And once again, it's not just in that defense that they are not communicating, but it's also in that attacking unit of theirs that there has been dearth of communication, and it's leading to troubles, it's leading to problems. Fazila does get lucky, to be honest, but this time does well to run forward with the ball. Ashtama Rao squares up Silky Devi. Silky trying to line up one of those long rangers, but then kind of hustled a bit too fast. Losing possession there. You have to be very, very clinical out there with your touches. Slightly overpowered, and the ball will go away to the opposition. That's exactly what's happened. Pantoi Chanu. Back to Pantoi. And she'll take her time. Kept in play. Kickstart now. Labatere. Again, they wasted what should have been a more categorical opportunity. Lavit Ede had to react fast enough. Had to try and take a shot till the time the East Bengal backline wasn't back to its original position. There was very slender opening, as they say that at times you have to run before you can walk, and it was one of those instances where you had to show belief in yourself and you simply had to go for a shot there. MMSEN brought down. Referee says no foul there. Knocks it forward. Back to Kickstart. Boku with the shield. Cleared away by Pantoi Chanu. The second half looks like Kickstart Football Club are now looking, or starting to look, a lot more positive than they were in the first half. The change so far, Kiran Baladevi going off, Sunita Munda coming in. It's starting to lead to a few openings from the right, of course. And a set piece once again for East Bengal. Apologies for Kickstart. And Bunty as well has come on. Bunty Sharma. Bunty with the corner. Chaos in the box. Challenge there. Headed away from the line. Danger's not over. Once again trying to swipe it to the goal. But the defense standing tall. Bunty Sharma coming up with an impressive corner. Pantoi Chanu with a hand to it. The ball falling on the noggin of Rafiat. But Rafiat couldn't just power it to the line. Now with a bit of a tango in front of Mantoichanu, trying to distract her, trying to disturb her. Not the worst of ideas, to be honest. Ranjana with another one of those long balls. Bibicha Devi. Bibicha Devi takes a bit longer than expected. Aruna Bagh. Another throw in for Kickstart. They're coming out to East Bengal's half a lot more than they were in the first half. Bibicha Devi. Love it. Going down. This time the referee blowing the whistle, awarding a free kick to Kickstart Football Club. And that's a very good position to have a free kick from. Love it. Almost trying to cannon through the melee of the defenders out there. And Hangma Sen Subba quickly blowing the whistle, laying down the law, awarding a free kick to Kickstart. Ranjana Chanu will be the one to whip it. Three woman wall. Sati Devnath, Shushmita Lepcha and Silky Devi in the wall. Ranjana Chanu, she's all set. Ranjana Chanu jams it straight at the wall. A very ordinary, a very pedestrian free kick, one would say. We can still see fragments, elements of chaos now in the East Bengal box. But now they have steered clear. Resti Nanziri failing to get past Kiran Pista. And Kiran Pista eyeing for that long ball, cleared away just in the nick of time there by Shushmita Lepcha. And Abena Apoko, she's taken a blow along the way. We'll have to take a look at what really happened in order to understand the extent of her injury. Kickstart Football Club looks to be in fine nick. Not really a very jarring collision, to be honest. More like a push involved, but again not substantial enough to draw a foul. So the right call made by the referee. And a quick look at the two goals. That was the first one. What a brilliant delivery. $1 million through ball. And Fazila Ekpuput, almost as if sensing that that Sulanjana Raul will come up with the ball exactly where she was. And then Fazila doing the honors herself of engineering one of those fine balls, and Resti Nanziri making no mistake. A little tweak to the left, opening up the goal line, and bam, into the net. Some space on the right. Sati Devnath. Sati does well to get past Lintoy. But then the final ball, something that should have gone deep, went out of the play. Goal kick for Kickstart. They know that they'll have to keep on fighting, and they are showing fight in the second half. The first half things were tricky for them. Conceded a couple of goals obviously, but in the second half looks like the changes that were made, Banti Sharma coming in, Sunita Munda coming in, the two players have introduced, or rather have induced, a fresh leash of life in the Kickstart excellence. Another free kick going East Bengal's way. Silky Devi down on the yard ruling. She was asking for a card. Referee says not to be. We'll take a look once again there. Love it. With the nick. Now will be taken by Resti Nanziri. Trying to guide Rafiat out of her way. Resti Nanziri, a very composed, a very level-headed player. And more importantly, an absolute sniper if you give her the chance. The vision that she has out in the midfield, that's incredibly brilliant. Free kick. will be taken by Sweetie Devi. Sweetie with the free kick, but my mom Lintoi Gambi collects that without breaking a sweat. Easy enough for her. However, possession has fallen back for Ikwaput. And Ikwaput with an absolute gunner shot. Sulanjana Raul heads it home from point blank range. No mistake made. 3-0 for East Bengal. What a terrific strike it could have been from Fazila, but ended up smashing the woodwork. And the ball almost finding a second home onto the noggin of Sulanjana Raul. Brilliant there from Fazila. Left the entire defense guessing and second guessing. And Sulanjana Raul tiptoeing her way, realizing no one was marking her. Everyone was so awed by the beauty of that shot. And like a fox in the box, Sulanjana Raul heads it home, makes it 3-0. As East Bengal, they continue their goal scoring spree. They haven't conceded in 2 games. They have been scoring for fun. 14 goals and now make it 17. Another chance, Fazila. Fazila lining one up, as cool as a cucumber. Finds Ashtama Rao to her right. And Ashtama Rao doing the honours. 2 goals in a span of 2 minutes. And East Bengal are laying absolute waste to Kickstart Football Club. No mercy at all. Clinical finishes, pinpoint finishes, and the goal fest continues. This has been a resounding display. A bit of an injury concern for Mehbam Lintoi Gambi, so she'll receive her treatment before we can once again get rolling. But what a sensational spell of play this has been. As good as it gets from the hosts. Commanding, assertive, ruthless, no second thoughts at all. Once again, a defensive lapse, to be honest, from Lintoi Gambi. Sulanjana Raul, it was orchestrating it all in Fazila. Watching the ball, checking her run, and laying it off for Ashtam Rao. No mistake whatsoever for her. By her rather. And 4-0 for East Bengal. And 4 different goal scorers. They have Sulanjana Raul, Fazila Ekwaput, Ashtam Rao, and Resti Nanziri. Might very well be more goals coming up. East Bengal looks absolutely famished. And we roll once again after goal number 4. Resti dropping deep to assist the team. Ashtam gets it back to Resti. Resti with another forward push, was it? Fazila it was. Resti with the chance. Resti finds the woodwork. Wow, could have been 5-0 in a flash. Just couldn't get the shot on target. Resti Nanziri hunting for her brace. It looks like Lintoi Gambi might be taken off. Excellent ball control. And thanks to that hand from Lintoi Gambi, that the ball didn't go into the back of the net, or it was very, very well placed. The fans are absolutely delighted of what they are seeing, or what they have seen so far. But now we'll have to wait and watch of Lintoi Gambi. She plays no further part in this game because that's what the instruction was from her teammate. Looked like she was in serious pain. And there you can see the fans absolutely delighted. Who wouldn't be? 4-0 for East Bengal. Could very well have been 5-0 as well, had it not been for a crucial touch, to be honest. Anthony Andrews, he will be exhilarated to see East Bengal showing how good they are. Another corner now, another set piece. Shushmita kept her run. Silky. Shushmita with the cross. Makes it fly miles away. For the ones watching, just to give you all a quick heads up, if East Bengal goes on to win this game, they will be making it 5 out of 5. 5 commanding wins on the trot. Which should be good enough to mete out justice to the title of the reigning defending champions. Fazila. The workload looks brilliant that she's taking. And now Resti going into a bit of a forward role with Fazila dropping deep in the midfield. Fazila with another long ranger. Once again the woodwork. Oh wow. Fazila Ekpuput rising like redemption from the rubble of doubt. Missed out a few chances in the last game. And here she is. Everything she's touching is turning to gold. Kickstart Football Club in a spell of utter horror. All the resistance that they knitted together in the opening 10 minutes of the second half has evaporated into oblivion. Courtesy of Fazila Ekpuput. Time and time again keeps on hunting for goals. Every single touch that she comes in with, every single knock that she comes in with looks menacing. Bit of a fisticuff in front of the box. Referee blows the whistle, awarding a free kick here to East Bengal. Anthony Chanu will be the one doing the honours. Still hasn't been tested apart from a couple of occasions. Cleared away by MMSEN, is it? No, Lovett Ede, apologies. 67 minutes on the ticker. And it has been thorough dominance. Chauba Devi with a quick word. And the referee possibly warning her. It's understandable that at times things are going all over the place. Well, that's the director of Kickstart Football Club, Lakshman Bhattarai. Still with East Bengal. Does well to control the ball, Resti. But Rafiat does well as well. And now laying it off for Bibicha Devi. Bibicha Devi sprinting from the left. Again, the resultant delivery. The final decisive pass didn't really come through. But on the contrary, East Bengal now might just have one of those chances. Only for Suranjana Raul to see the ball flying out of the park. Another couple of quick changes. Locked and loaded. We'll have Durga coming in place of Bibicha Devi. And we'll have Maria Balamurgan coming in as well. Bibicha Devi looked good in the second half, but then somehow couldn't really leave a mark leave an indelible impression. Mariam Balbala Murugan. She's been impressive in recent times. But talking about impressive, if there's one name that's burning bright, that's Fazela Ikwaput. Time and time again, getting hold of the ball and making those instrumental runs. A bit of chaos out in the center. And after all those hefty pushes, Rafiat does well to actually outpossess Sulanjana Raul. Temper is starting to flare. But Sulanjana Raul, what a talent, to be honest. Silky Devi with another lovely ball on the left. Another cross section along the way, goes out for a corner. And Shushmita Lepcha will be the one to send it whirling into the traffic. Shushmita takes it short. Silky. Silky with the cross in the center. Wonderful header. A diving header from Shushmita Devnath makes it 5-0. Apologies from Shakti Devnath. What a terrific goal this is. Silky Devi with a $1 million cross, and Sati Devnath following the trajectory of the ball, leaping out of the defensive chaos, heading home, number 5 for East Bengal. And that's not the best of clearances, but Mariammal could only hammer it straight at the cul-de-sac ahead of her. East Bengal cannot stop scoring. So once again, excellent link-up play. Sulanjana Raul just not able to get the ball in. What a commanding performance this has been from the hosts so far. And East Bengal now coming up with a couple of changes. Ashta Morao, who will be going out. And Sati Devnath as well will be making her way out. She'll be replaced by what's a more menacing name for Kickstart Football Club, and that is Karthika Angamuthu. And at the other end, of course, the arrival of Priyanka Devi. She's got a goal in the last game. Fazela, $1 million ball, can be another chance. Sulanjana Raul almost making her way to the ball. But good collection there by my Bamlan Toigambi. Danger's not over. The ball kept on eluding everyone. Resty lining one up. Still with Resty going past. Fazela makes it 6-0. Goalkeeper going in a different direction, and Fazela writing a name on the wind with that excellent finish. That's the second goal of the game, and number 8 of IWL 2025-26. Resty Nanziri with a picture perfect through ball, and Fazela latching onto it, taking her time, and boom, no chance for Bamlan Toigambi. Talk about domination. That is domination personified. Resty finds a decent option out in the center, Priyanka, but there's a turnover. Opoku makes no mistake, sends it all the way to Pantoy Chanu. Wonderfully done. Resty Resty with another one of those forward balls. Silky failing to capitalize. A decent sliding tackle by Aruna Bagh and eventually a throw in East Bengal's favour. Resty looking for options. Resty with the cross. Fazila and a couple of minds. Priyanka Devi. But Priyanka doesn't get any space at all. Kartika does well to intercept. Finds Resty. Priyanka ideally loves to play in a forward position, but today has been deployed as a fulcrum out in the centre, controlling the midfield, regulating that. Back to Priyanka. She's got space ahead of her. Finds Sulanjana Raul on the left. Priyanka again. Priyanka with a gentle make forward. Shushmita Lepcha. Wonderful link-up play, to be honest. Sulanjana Raul finds Priyanka. Priyanka goes for a cross. Fazila laying it off for Resty. Resty to Fazila. Fazila with another chance. This time jabs it against the defender. Still with Resty. Back to Resty. Resty with the shot this time. A bit more elevation on the ball. Goes out of the park. Kickstart Football Club looks like they have been completely stunned. There's hardly any response. Kartika. Priyanka. Another lovely ball forward. Resty. Resty lays it off for Fazila. It goes inches away from her. Resty Nanziri and Fazila Ekwaput, the duo of destruction, invoking doom for oppositions at will. And they keep on coming. It's more like a wave of attack, a wave of aggression. Kartika does well. She's a commanding ball controller out in the center. The ball snatching is equally good. Mariammal. Mariammal pushes it back to Durga. Durga taking her time. Durga now through the center. Rafiat hoping to find MMSEN along the way, but MMSEN in a bit of a challenging position there. Resty. Fazila. Almost feels like as if they're twins. They know each other's movements so well. Priyanka on the right. Priyanka gets Resty along the way. Silky now. Silky doesn't want to take any risk at all. Rafiat feeding onto that left wing. But it was never going to be easy with the Poku in place. East Bengal, they've come up with a storm in the second half. Looks like Fazila, she's taken a bit of a hammering along the way. Most likely a head-on collision. And I think the fans, they are absolutely delighted with the performance so far. Resty trying to lay it off and Fazila just going down. Sliding tackle on her, bringing her down instantly. Looked like when she went down, that head had a bit of a collision to the ground, which means it will have an impact along the way. East Bengal will be hoping that she's alright because she's proven to be the shooter up front, a machine that doesn't know when to stop, a goal scoring machine. And once she's being fed the balls, that was the first goal. Sulanjana Rao laying it off for Fazila. And that's what we were talking about. She doesn't know when to stop. A delivery like that will not go wasted, said Fazila. And she placed it to perfection. And then she came up with an assist as well, finding Resti Nanziri along the way. And the ball almost came rolling into the stride of Resti. And then in the second half, a phenomenal shot altogether from Fazila, hammering the woodwork. And no mistake there from Sulanjana Rao. Point blank range, heading it for number 3. And then another $1 million delivery from Sulanjana Rao. And Fazila being selfless, laying it off into the stride of Ashtama Rao. And the goals kept on coming. Another incredible cross. And Sathi Devnath with a lovely header. And no chance at all for Maibam Linthoi Gambi Devi. The goals keep on coming. We still have 10 minutes of regulation time remaining. Kickstart now, trying to come up with something incredible. They'll need more firepower in the opposition half, more numbers. Aruna tries a luck from range, all the way to Pantoi Chanu. Karthika, nicely controlled. And now East Bengal finding more space out in the center. Karthika now gets it to Shushmita. Poku. That's a good ball through the center. The tussle goes on. Twisting, twirling, turning. This time Maibam coming out of the line. The flags also went up. Sangeeta Basfor has also come on in the second half for East Bengal. Sangeeta now on the ball. Karthika does well to steer away from her marker. Once again, Resti Nanziri. A jersey being tugged, referee says play on. But then the possession has been won back by East Bengal. Karthika. Sarita. Resti again. Karthika. Possession overwhelmingly dominant in East Bengal's favour. Another fine ball forward, but then into the hands of Maibam Linthoi Gambi Devi. Bit of an awkward bounce in front, cleared away. But however, Resti Nanziri, she is always out in the center, almost waiting for the ball. East Bengal, they have very comfortably knitted together an incredible spell of dominion in this game. The first half, just a couple of goals in the second half. It was thorough dominance, where Bamlento Igambi just gets it out of harm's way. That's nicely done and very well kept. Ranjana Chanu and Mariam Bala Morgan. Again, the idea was possibly to find an advancing Ranjana Chanu, but it goes away from her. Sarita Yumna with the throw. Kartika. Toku. Shushmita. Lovely ball, but then Silky Devi, she was caught in an offside trap. Will have to return empty-handed. East Bengal already with half a dozen goals. A brace from Fazal Aikwaput, a goal apiece from Sulanjana Raul, Resti Nansiri. Rashna Morao and Sathi Debnath. Fans singing in unison, enjoying East Bengal's dominance so far. We'll quickly share an update about the score line. Not really sure about the last goal because there has been some changes made. Currently it stands 5-0. We'll have to confirm whether the last goal was given or not. There were claims made of an offside, so we'll have to confirm that quickly enough. For now, Rafiat. Another cross in the box. But way too easy. Yeah, we have just received confirmation. The last goal has been cancelled due to an offside. So, as things stand, it's 5-0. So, East Bengal with a 5-0 lead, which is also another statement. That's wonderful link-up play. But once again, Rafiat Aweda just struggling to get a nick to the ball. Today hasn't been one of those days where she will run riot. But Resti Nansiri at the other hand, who's been so brilliant. It's felt like poetry in motion. Cleared away as well. Chauba Devi. Right in front. Knows that she'll have to bounce back from here. It's not the start that she's expected to this tournament. 5 matches. This will be their 4th defeat out of 5. They keep on going forward. Overa finding Lavitede in the center. Mariamal. Love it with a shot from distance, but a million miles away. As things stand, it's still 5-0 for East Bengal. They had a 6th as well. Unfortunately, the 6th goal was called offside, so it's 5-0 still for East Bengal. But what a phenomenal performance this has been. That's a cheap concession. Ranjana Chanu has some space going forward. Ranjana with the cross for whom? Shushmita Lepcha recovers her ground and collects the ball without any trouble at all. Silky Devi once again. Sangeeta finds Silky. Silky Devi twisting and turning. There's no stopping her today. The entire East Bengal team, they have looked so comfortable. They've looked almost unstoppable, untouchable. They've just run away with this game. Just like the way they have run away with the last 2 games as well. And if this is what the scoreline remains, They'll be scoring 14 goals in their last three fixtures without conceding one. And that's indeed an over. Sorry, not 14, 19 goals. Apologies. 19 goals in their last three games, which is a commanding, overwhelming lead altogether. As the music blares out louder than ever on the sidelines, the fans enjoying the show, the fans loving the fact that their favorite team has come out all guns blazing. 6 minutes of additional time, 360 seconds of drama and thrills coming your way. Kickstart Football Club will have to get back to the drawing board, will have to understand what went wrong. And Aruna Bagh once again copying a blow. She was injured earlier as well. We'll hope that she's okay. Aruna Bagh, she has been also in fine shape for Kickstart Football Club and has possibly been one of the silver linings for Kickstart Football Club in what otherwise has been a very murky sky for them in the latest iteration of the Indian Women's League. Last year, Kickstart Football Club, they finished 4th. They had a tough start, but then quickly regained themselves. Secured 4 wins and 6 draws. The stretches out again, not a very welcoming spectacle. At the end of the day, we've always talked about how players, no matter in win or in loss or in a draw, they should be marching out of the field, being stretched out. It's agonizing. Aruna had a good game, of course, but then when you're up against a powerhouse like East Bengal, you will need a lot more than good. Yeah, I think she was just trying to get past Sangeeta Basfor, but couldn't really get past her. And the fans, they'll be loving it, turning up on a Tuesday afternoon and watching their favorite team in action, firing on all cylinders. 5 goals, in fact they had 6. The last goal was called offside. Ranjana Chanu to take the free kick. Ranjana loads it in front, controlled by MMSAN. Finds Lovett along the way. Throw in for Kickstart Football Club. Kickstart Football Club, to be honest with them, they somehow couldn't really understand the pulse of the game even for a solitary time today. It was all East Bengal. It was East Bengal calling the shots, dominating this game. Kartika through the center. Kartika launches it forward, and the chase won't eventually come to fruition. Goes out of the park. Kandamoni Baski has also come on for East Bengal. So they have completed all their changes. And it looks like Kickstart have now lined up for one more change. It will be happening soon enough. Durga to Mariamal. Mariamal in a tussle. Eventually East Bengal wins the ball back. Apoku. Apoku keeps on brushing through the defenders as if she knows it by heart. Knocks it to Sarita. Sarita in no rush at all. Another lovely ball forward. This should have been better. Sangeeta Basfor possibly caught in a couple of minds, to be honest. Whether to go for the shot herself, whether to lay it off. Another change. And this time for Kickstart Football Club, Nimita Gurung coming on. Ranjana Chanu has been another one of those flickering beacons of resistance and defiance. But then you will need all players to come on board. You will need all players to form a unit, to dovetail together as a family, instead of 11 players playing differently, relying on their own caliber. Football is a team game, they say. MMSAN trying to spare off a teammate on the right, but not to be. She was hoping for a run from Bunty Sharma, but Bunty Sharma doesn't go there in time. Rafiat, a little bit of a header. East Bengal wins the ball again. Kartika through the centre. Quickly checks a run, turns around, goes for a crossfield ball. Silky Devi, she's got space ahead of her. She'll need support though. Silky Devi trying to check that run of hers. From the line, decides to go for a back pass. Jams it into the defence. And that's goal number 6. Or is it? Is it? No, not really. Offside. Well. Unfortunate. They've done everything they could. We'll take a look again. Silky Devi. Maybe a split second too late to release the ball. And that was steered home. But then not for long. The offside flag going up quickly enough. And Tandamoni Basti coming back empty-handed. And just a quick confirmation, Nimita Gurung coming on for Aruna Bagh. The ball going out of play once again. Throw in for East Bengal. Will take their time. They know that this game is in their pocket by a fair mile. So just now, maybe breathe in those crucial seconds and play off the remainder of it. The fans loving every bit of it. Why won't they? This has been a commanding show from the East Bengal girls. A rollicking display of dominance, rampage. And this time, wonderfully intercepted. But that's game, set, match for East Bengal. Another commanding win altogether. 5-0 is how they drop Kickstart Football Club. Fazila with a brace, Resti Nanziri, Sulanjana Raul and Ashtam Rao with a goal apiece. Could have scored a lot more. The ball went into the net twice, but then both of them were called offside. But what an incredible game of football for East Bengal. The defending champions, they keep their winning streak alive, and how? Back-to-back 5-0 wins. And that's their 5th win in a row. Kickstart Football Club, despite securing a win in the last game, once again the momentum that they had fizzled away into thin air. It's not really easy. Up against a powerhouse, up against a stalwart like East Bengal, you will need everyone to play their best part. But unfortunately, that was not the case. And Fazala Ikwaput, what a tremendous show of force. Supported by Resti as well. We'll take a quick look at the highlights of this game. The first half was relatively uneventful apart from the 2 goals. Couple of decent chances did come East Bengal's way, but they failed to convert that. Started off with a handful of quick exchanges. And that was the first move in the making. Sulanjana Raul failing to capitalize. And then it was Sulanjana Raul redeeming herself. Incredible through ball. Almost arranged it on a silver platter for an advancing Fazila Ikwaput. And she made no mistake placing the ball to perfection at the far side as the goalkeeper could only go round in circles in anticipation. And then Bibicha Devi came up with a lovely with a lovely forward ball, but decent collection from the goalkeeper. Another one of those long ranges from Fazila went straight into the hands of my bum. And then Fazila Ekwapot going from a bit of a difficult angle, to be honest. And Ashna Morao denied on that occasion. Kiran Balachanu should have done better with the shot. Dragged it wide. Shushmita Lepcha with another fine cross. Unfortunately, Sulanjana Raul making a hash of affairs. MMSAN. That was possibly the best chance that Kickstart had. And then Resti Nanzeri with the second goal. And that is where things ended. Like from here on, it was all East Bengal. Yes, a couple of attacks did come in for Kickstart Football Club in the second half. But that was just in the initial 10 minutes. They were not to be found in the remainder of the game. Another incredible delivery, but then there was no one close by. A corner for Kickstart. And after all the chaos in the box and a goal line clearance, East Bengal found their rhythm once again. Fazila hammering the woodwork and Sulanjana Rao, sensing the opportunity, making no mistake, followed the ball and headed it into an open net as the goalkeeper went for a twirl. And a signature celebration, then another one of those $1 million deliveries, and Fazila laying it off selflessly for Ashna Rao as she made no mistake in steering the ball home from point blank range, as easy as it gets. Time and time again, they kept on gunning for the goals, and a crucial hand denied Resti Nansiri her brace. Fazila with another one of those long ranges, once again smashing the woodwork along the way. And then a lovely cross came in. This was the goal that was called offside, unfortunately. And then another fine ball, and Fazila making no mistake. Storming through a melee of defenders, she found the target, rattling the bullseye to perfection. That's how the game came to an end. Final scoreline, East Bengal 5, Kickstart Football Club 0. And with this, we come to the end of this game as well. Thank you everyone for joining in. We'll see you soon for the final round of fixtures before we say a close to the first phase of IWL. Thank you everyone for joining in.